Whoa, Zam. Today's video is on New Orleans, Louisiana, y'all. They requiring that you have the Star of David in order to enter a few businesses. Now, of course, if you're new here, what we do here is read, listen, watch, and we block talk, break it down, y'all. And really, bro, you know how I'll be mad. I'm usually getting angry at the story, man. That's not what's happening this time. Because really, at some point, it's just sad, y'all. That's why my voice sound like this, because it's sad. You know how many people that they frightening, y'all, scaring people to death, y'all. Not just elderly people, but kids. Kids can't go to school and interact with other kids. People getting fired from their job because they refuse to get the Star of David. You know, they refusing to be checked every week, probably 2 or 3 times a week by sticking that long needle type thing upside your nose. Wow. It's really sad. And you know what people do when they afraid, y'all? They sign away all their rights. Remember 9/11, y'all? When they gave away the Patriot Act? Now the government can watch what you check out at the library. They can track everything you do on the internet, y'all. Remember that? Remember they convinced people to go to war in World War II? Remember that? Or maybe this one, y'all. Remember they convinced black people to vote for Joe Biden, actually thinking they're going to get something in return for it. They still haven't heard back from them. It's really sad, y'all, because like as you research, a lot of things become obvious to you. It become obvious to you. But when you're reporting on a story like this, it's people who automatically gonna assume that you're a theorist of sorts. A theorist of sorts. You understand me? Oh, he's a nut job or a wacko or whatever they saw on mainstream media. It's really sad, y'all. People really shun you. And that's what they doing right now in New Orleans, y'all. That's discrimination. That is discrimination. You telling me that I cannot enter a business because I have to show you the Star of David. And remember, y'all, I'm being coded right now. But let's get to the video and you'll understand why. Let's begin.
Tonight, three of the city's most well-known music clubs will require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test to get in. And now some other businesses are following suit.
Did you hear that? You gotta show them that you have the Star of David in order to get in. Forget HIPAA. Remember, y'all, that is a health record. That's a health record. So you telling me you violating HIPAA in order to receive a health record from me? I gotta show you that I have the Star of David? Come on now, y'all. Something really, really terrible is going on inside this country, y'all. For black people, you got to understand these people have never gave one hot nickel about your health nor well-being, y'all. Think about it right quick with me. Just listen to me, bro, because it's sad to me that people just gonna call you crazy, dismiss you, anything to turn their back and continue to sleep, bro. Just listen, y'all. You know that these people debate every 4 years if they're gonna take what they call it, welfare away from you. They always threatening you with that. You in fear that they're gonna take your food stamps away. If they cared about your health and well-being, and blacks do not lead in welfare, by the way. If these people cared about your well-being, they wouldn't try to take the only food you have out of your kid's stomach. If they cared about your well-being, y'all. If they cared about your well-being, they wouldn't villainize you every night on the local news, y'all. If they cared about your well-being, they wouldn't allow these cops to murder you at will and walk off scot-free. And make sure they walk off scot-free through every level of government. They don't care if you take it up to the federal level. That we didn't find any wrongdoings here. When have they ever cared about your well-being, y'all? That's why it's sad when you just read and you research so much for somebody to tell you your information is just a conspiracy theory. Or you're a nut job or a wacko because they saw it on the nightly news that they still believe for some very odd reason. Though these people have continuously lied to you every night on a daily basis, y'all. Let's continue the video though, because she just not told us 3 of the most prominent nightclubs in New Orleans are requiring that you show the Star of David in order to gain entrance, y'all. That's discrimination for one. Because let's say if a handicapped person came to the club, you gonna have them show some, or do they have to sit in a certain special area? Or can they not gain entrance because they're in a wheelchair? Or you in a wheelchair, you can't come in here? That's a better example. My bad, y'all. You think they're gonna deny a mentally disabled person from coming inside of a club? Like, oh no, you mentally disabled, you can't come in this club. Oh, you got to show me proof that you're not mentally disabled. There you go. But you got to show the Star of David, y'all. This propaganda, bro. Let's continue.
Danny Monteverdi spoke to some of them and joins us live with more on that. Danny.
Well, Karen, the doors here at Effervescence on North Rampart Street have been open for about an hour now, and there's a new rule tonight. You must be vaccinated to be inside. They and some other businesses are enacting this rule tonight. At La Boca Steakhouse in the Warehouse District, there's a new rule come Tuesday. All guests must show proof of a COVID vaccine or a negative test to get in.
Wow, did you hear that? You have to show the Star of David in order to get in. Now you know why I'm being coded about this, just in case. Don't that tell y'all something? You live in a society where you have to use code words in order to speak your opinion, your truth, because according to the mainstream media and your American government, you'll believe anything you see on the internet. Remember that. Because you saw something on the Facebook, you just automatically believe it. You're a dumb American, as they say. They believe anything they say on YouTube. So us as the government must parent them through social media. We must team up with Facebook, Instagram, but they've been teamed up, of course. That goes without saying that they've been watching, but now they putting together algorithms so they can make sure that they monitor you very, very closely, so they can bury your videos, your opinion very, very deep. Make sure nobody hear you except for the people that subscribe to you. I know how they get down, but let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
It's the same deal across town at Cowbell on Oak Street and Effervescence on the edge of the French Quarter. It's all because of the growing number of COVID cases.
And we thought, okay, it's accelerating. Let's do this thing where if you want to sit inside, great. Just show us your vax card, a picture of it. You know, you can come inside and take your mask off when you get inside. Otherwise, we have outside seating.
Wow. See, don't that sound like a second-class citizen to you? Oh, you can sit outside if you don't, if you don't want to show us your Star of David. That's why I'm making sure I use the right words, y'all. So you can sit outside. You know how hot it is in New Orleans? Probably raining. Wow. And don't you think this is quite strategic? The top 3 clubs in New Orleans, the top 3 in a majority black city, y'all. I'm from New Orleans. I know about Tipatinas and all of that crap. And I ain't saying it's crap as in the bars. I'm just saying them the top bars. Do you think that that's a coincidence, or is it a theory or a conspiracy that somehow all 3 of them came to this decision, y'all, to discriminate against people who will not show them the Star of David? Do y'all know that people who actually got the Star of David, they actually still catch the David and spread it? I've spoken to people who got the Star of David and still caught the David. They still caught the David, y'all. Come on now. You are witnessing the Rebel Network as we continue with this propaganda.
Cowbell's owner, Brack May, says the idea came after Tipatinas, the Maple Leaf, and DBA said earlier this week that anyone who wants to see a show must be vaccinated or negative for the virus and have the proof.
This is just
so this small business did it after they saw the giant 3 businesses do it. See, What that tell y'all? What that tell you on a larger scale? The city is being used as an experiment for what's going to happen nationwide, y'all. If you allow it, which I hope you don't. You see how sad this is, y'all? Y'all know how much division this causes? You go to the stores, oh, you can't come in because you won't show the Star of David. And then other people look like, oh, you need to, oh, get with the times. He must be some conspiracy nut. Are your closest relatives dismissive of you because they don't agree with your opinion? Look at all of the numbers. Even though when we look at the numbers, we can even see that people are being labeled to have had the David when they died. And their family members come out and say, my family member did not have the David when they died. Never had it. You just gonna believe the numbers, huh? I know some of y'all, you believe whatever number you see. Oh, they said only 2% of black men could read. You believe that? That's what they want you to believe. Do they ever show the numbers in favor of you? Oh, most black Americans say that they're tired of racism in America. What's the percentage of that? Mainstream media. Do they ever tell you that? But they like to trick you. Oh, blacks make $5 billion a year. They'll give you that to try to psych you up and have you thinking, we so dumb, we get all that money and still we not free. We ain't put together a plan. You know, if you do the research, people, that these people make 8 times more than you. See, the numbers never favor you while you're looking for a poll or believing that all of them people died. Go look at a map of the entire globe. You're gonna see some very suspicious things, y'all. But before I digress, you are witnessing the Rebel Network. Let's continue.
It's our policy. It's not a political thing. It's a preventative thing. We see it as a courtesy.
You heard that? You heard that? Make sure you hear it, people. Thank you for pressing like, sharing, and even listening, bro.
Preventative thing. We see it as a courtesy.
He says policing customers and having staff wear masks is something he'd be happy to do.
He said that it wasn't a political thing. Why would he go out of his way to say that? COVID itself is not a political issue. I thought, oh, that's because it is a political issue. We all know that the Democrats own COVID. We know that. We know what's going on here. Why you think when you cut on the rival channel that you're not supposed to go to? Remember, if you're CNN, America says you stay. If you're a Democrat, America says that you stay with ABC, MSNBC, and CNN. Remember that. And if you're a Republican, you stay over there with Fox. See? But if you switch over to the rival network, you'll see that they do not subscribe to any of the David. You understand that? Or have to even require the Star of David. They said they didn't even really shut Texas down, a Republican state. So why go out of his way to say that, oh, it's not a political issue? Because it is. And they told you to say that. I know. Let's rewind it just to make sure you hear this fool.
A political thing. It's a preventative thing. We see it as a courtesy.
He says policing customers and having staff wear masks is something he'd be happy to do away with if it was safe.
Believe me, it's 130 degrees or so in the kitchen when it really gets cranking. It's not fun.
Crystal.
You heard that? 130 degrees. But he said the people who don't show him the Star of David got to sit outside. Get out of here, man. Let's continue, y'all.
Coco Hines, who owns Effervescence on North Rampart, says people who haven't been vaccinated can sit outside on the patio, but only those who've had the shot can sit inside. It's a decision she says she didn't make lightly.
It was weighing very heavily on me all week, and I couldn't really sleep well. And finally,
it was weighing heavily on her. She couldn't really sleep well. Sound like somebody made you make this decision to me. If it's that hard for you to make a decision, that means you shouldn't make a decision. Why was it so imperative, y'all, that she make the decision the next day? To the point where she couldn't even sleep. Why? You own that business, right? You can make a decision whenever you please. You own the restaurant, don't you? Why are you tossing and turning at night? Wow. Let's continue, y'all, because it's really sad. These people be the same ones, y'all, frightening your grandmother to go take that David, to go take the Star of David, y'all. Let's continue, because I'm trying to keep up with the subliminals I'm using, and I'm stumbling and getting mad because I'm really angry at the way these people operate with this propaganda, y'all.
And I couldn't really sleep well, and finally I decided to follow my gut.
She's kept in place all existing health policies, such as social distancing, a mask mandate, and hand sanitizer. She says the new rule was just the latest way to try to keep customers and her small staff of 7 and their families safe. As for the response,
There's a few people who,
She said by requiring people to show her proof of the Star of David, she protecting everybody else in the restaurant. When I already told y'all that people who go there and they receive the verification, the Star of David, y'all, they still end up catching the David and spreading it. They still end up spreading it, y'all. This is propaganda. They are flat. I ain't gonna even say it. Let's continue.
and I don't recognize them. I don't know if they're a guest or not, but that have commented on Instagram, negatively. But most people are applauding us and they're fine.
What is a negative comment, y'all? She said a lot of people have commented negatively. What's a negative comment, y'all? Is a negative comment a comment that's in disagreement with hers? Maybe they say you've gone too far. This is discrimination. Is that negative? You're violating HIPAA. Is that negative? What negative comments? Be specific. But let's continue. No, let's rewind that to make sure you heard it.
But most people are applauding us.
No.
They're on Instagram, negatively. But most people are applauding us and they're fine with it.
both business
You heard her, but most people applauding them. That's a lie.
owners say they look forward to the day they don't have to worry about this.
If they said, "Hey, man, it's over. Let's party," that's the happiest day for all of us here. I can tell you that.
What does he mean? Didn't they just tell Americans that they can take off the mask? What you mean? What do you mean? First, they tell you could take off the mask, and then they slip in a variant. And now you scared again. You don't know what to do. You don't know whether to put the mask on or take it off. So if the government told us to take off the mask, why are they even requiring a mask inside of the restaurant in the first place? Talking about it's 130 degrees. Why are you requiring a mask in the first place, you clown? Come on, bro. Let's continue.
And so again, those business owners saying they hope they don't have to police this for too much longer. And they say that they hope that this will make some difference in the city in the coming days, weeks, and months.
You heard what he said? They hope they don't have to police this. Oh, so now businesses are serving as the police, huh? Oh, they just like the internet now, huh? Y'all watching us too, huh? Instead of deleting comments, they deleting you off the premises now. They policing you, making you show them that. Like, they cause so much divide, y'all, amongst friends, family, everybody. You ain't never had an argument with nobody about this? How hard they trying to push this? They even wanted to pay you. They made songs to convince you because they think you're a buffoon who can easily be convinced by naked women. Vax, I ain't even want to say that. Y'all know what I was going to say, bro. Like, it just make me really mad, the tactics they use, bro. And people still believe them. The people who villainize Black people, like, have a history of demonizing and villainizing us. Y'all believe them for advice on what you should do to your body. Are you serious, y'all? Are y'all really serious? Matter of fact, let's go to something else, man. Let's go to another clip right here. Or to another video where we can talk about, well, really break down propaganda a little more. And I told y'all, like, I ain't even mad with this video because really it's just sad. Got kids can't go to school, you know, can't see their best friend and all of this, asking people if they gonna die or something from this crap. These people every night got these people thinking thousands of people dying. They tell people they could take the mask off, then they gotta hurry up and put it back on because there's a variant. Now you gotta take something for the variant too. Come on, bruh. Y'all see that on the screen? Just listen, man. You are witnessing a rebel network.
Propaganda can be defined as a type of persuasion tactic which displays three general characteristics. Firstly, propaganda is deliberately made by an individual or group of individuals, called the propagandist, for the purpose of manipulating individuals into adopting certain ideas and behaviors.
Did you hear that? Manipulating people to adapt to certain behaviors. Did you hear that? Let me make sure.
Three general characteristics. Firstly, propaganda is deliberately made by an individual or group of individuals, called the propagandist, for the purpose of manipulating individuals into adopting certain ideas and behaviors.
You see, that's what they do. That's what they just now did. Villainize the people who didn't get the Star of David. But the other people who did were applauding. The others were negative simply for disagreements. Simply by disagreeing, your comment is negative. I know. Let's continue.
Secondly, propaganda never presents an issue in a clear and unbiased manner. Instead, propaganda attempts to present one side of an issue as if it were an absolute truth.
Don't that sound like your local news or your mainstream media news outlet? CNN, MSNBC, do they ever have the opposite opinion? Do they ever have the opposite opinion and backed by facts, y'all? No, just what they said. 1,000 people died over here today. 1,000 died over there today, and y'all walking around scared and frightened, just like they did before 9/11. Give them the Patriot Act, then we scared. World War II, yeah, we'll let them go to war. They just not bomb Pearl Harbor. Oh, blacks scared of Trump. They gonna vote for you, Joe Biden, no matter what your history is. Y'all understand what fear do, y'all? Fear can have people storming the Capitol. Remember that? Let's continue, though, to 115.
Adolf Hitler, who with the help of his propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, implemented one of the most massive propaganda campaigns of the 20th century, captured this characteristic with these words. The function of propaganda is not to make an objective study of the truth and then set it before the masses with academic fairness. Its task is to serve our own right, always and unflinchingly.
You heard that? The purpose of propaganda is to serve our own right. What you think America's purpose is? Our own right, not your own right. That's why you only see one view on every news outlet. Come on now, y'all. Let's continue, you dig? Because it make you so mad. Come on, bro. It be blatant to me.
Finally, propaganda tends to use psychological manipulation tactics and to play on the emotions and prejudices of individuals so as to convince them that the idea, action, or attitude they adopted was one they chose through their own personal volition. This last feature of propaganda is what can make it especially dangerous. Jacques Ellul provided a chilling description of the individual whose personality has been thoroughly molded by propaganda.
Did you hear that, y'all? Propaganda manipulates individuals to convince them that they was the ones who adopted that opinion, y'all. Do you hear that? Or the action? Wow. You see? This is propaganda. That's why they convincing you, oh, I took the shot at will. They didn't make a song to convince me. They didn't pay me to take the shot. You see? Oh, I've been watching the news every night. They didn't frighten me into doing it. Seeing all of those debt toll numbers every night. Ain't that a shame, y'all? Remember after 9/11 when it was like, oh, we should get rid of that little chart because it's shocking Americans. It's scaring them. The people are frightened every time they move it up and down. And, these people are on edge. That's why they got rid of it. Remember the terror alert? You did? Or think about after 9/11, and I'm using this example because I was living. After 9/11, they stopped showing how these airplanes ran through the towers because it was on 24/7, people. 24/7, even the kids networks, the PBS ones, KVIE and stuff like that. They had to stop doing it. But what they doing for this little, for the Star of David? What they doing? Right in the corner down there, 2,000 dead a day, 16 million thousand. Oh, you could take off the mask. Oh, put the mask back on. It's a Delta variant. What the heck? What? Come on, y'all. But you gotta show. Damn, why did I say the name of that crap? Not the internet messing up in a way, but let's continue, y'all. He about to explain how the mind of a person, he about to explain the mind of a person who has totally submitted to propaganda. My bad.
When he recites his propaganda lesson and says that he is thinking for himself, when his eyes see nothing and his mouth only produces sounds previously stenciled into his brain, when he says that he is indeed expressing his judgment, then he really demonstrates that he no longer thinks at all, ever, and that he does not exist as a person.
Did you hear that? When he recites his propaganda lesson and says that he is thinking for himself, when his eyes see nothing, because you're looking at the video, some of y'all, and your eyes see nothing. A lot of y'all subscribe to me and still voted. You're looking at me, but your eyes see nothing. All you did is recite what they said. Oh, they said he gonna do something this time. You ain't heard from him since. Remember? Oh, they said that we got to vote for him because this our last chance. Ain't heard from him since. You heard me talking about it. You saw me too. But all you did was repeat what you had heard on the mainstream news circuit. I'm gonna let him read that again, bro. That's how powerful that is. Y'all listen.
His judgment, then he really demonstrates for himself when personality has been thoroughly molded by propaganda. When he recites his propaganda lesson and says that he is thinking for himself, when his eyes see nothing and his mouth only produces sounds previously stenciled into his brain, when he says that he is indeed expressing his judgment, then he really demonstrates that he no longer thinks at all, ever, and that he does not exist as a person.
Wow. And that he does not even exist as a person because he's just a figurehead, another puppet walking around saying, what about black on black crime? See, that's a great example. One of them types. Well, if y'all get off the welfare, we don't lead in welfare. Well, black men, this, that. See, them types. They don't hear you. All they hear is what they saw on the news last night. Oh, he have locks. He must be a criminal. The dude in college, bro. Oh, he black. He must be into hip hop. The dude probably listen to country music. But you've been watching TV for too long, you dig? You done had that TV on for too long. Now let's get to another part. As y'all know, we don't stop. We just keep going with it because this sad, boy. It's really sad. Some people think that the American government care about them and everything. Since when have they ever cared about your health and well-being? In fact, y'all, they still actually have to debate if you 3/5 of a man, if they should let you vote. But they care about your well-being? Oh, they care now, huh? Get out of here, please. Get out of here, please. Let me make sure we on the right one. Yeah.
Catholicism against challenges arising from the Protestant Reformation.
Right here.
The early 20th century is usually identified as an important turning point in the history of propaganda, as it was during this period that so-called modern propaganda emerged. What differentiates modern propaganda from all earlier forms of propaganda is the use of mass media, such as radio and television, as a medium to disseminate propaganda.
Did you hear that? That's when everything changed, they said, when them TVs got plugged in. Now let's go a little further down. Let me show y'all how they really did it, how they got down.
Of modern propaganda. Creel was a friend of Woodrow Wilson, who was the president during America's entry into World War I. Wilson called on George Creel to organize a committee which came to be known as the Committee on Public Information, or the Creel Commission, whose purpose was to create propaganda in order to transform the attitude of the American population into one of war-hungry patriotic excitement.
Did you hear that? The American government assigned Creel to be his propaganda arm of America, to make sure that he can convince you to go to war, to let your sons and daughters die. Well, back then, just your sons, to allow your sons to die for his war, being drafted, your great grandfathers. You understand what I'm saying? My bad. Your ancestors. He done that purposely, y'all. Like, how that make some people feel if you know that your ancestor fought in that war? You understand? How that make you feel, knowing that these people tricked them into going to war, y'all? He just said it. The American government. You think they changed this? Oh, they changed us because this a new time, huh? Oh, this a new time. They changed, man. The people ain't like that. Now let's watch it again.
Of modern propaganda. Creel was a friend of Woodrow Wilson, who was the president during America's entry into World War I. Wilson called on George Creel to organize a committee which came to be known as the Committee on Public Information, or the Creel Commission, whose purpose was to create propaganda in order to transform the attitude of the American population into one of war-hungry patriotic excitement.
Into war-hungry patriotic excitement. War-hungry, y'all. That's not a beautiful thing. That's blood-hungry. People get their heads chopped off, getting beheaded at war, y'all. Poison, CS gas, all kind of stuff go on during war. War-hungry. War-hungry and patriotic, y'all. That's what they transformed them. You heard that, man? Transformed them through propaganda. You think they stopped? But you gonna listen to them, huh?
As Noam Chomsky explained, such a propaganda campaign was highly successful. The Creel Commission succeeded within 6 months in turning a pacifist population into a hysterical warmongering population which wanted to destroy everything German.
Do you hear that? Wanted to destroy everything German within only 6 months. Do you see how powerful propaganda is? That's words, y'all. Remember? People be just talking whenever some black person tell you something, just because you on here doing your due diligence to spread real information. Whenever somebody tell you, oh, you just talking, don't accept that. You ain't just talking. You changing the whole scope of things, goddamn it, if you doing it right. You present your people with facts to lead them away from slaughter. Unlike clowns like Roland Martin, trying to convince people to go down there, and Kamala Harris even told you the Bible, huh? You still don't see that something's pretty fishy, how hard they targeting you? You don't find that fishy, but they don't target you when you're homeless. You know what? Black people homeless out here. Man, they too goddamn homeless, man. We care about their health and well-being. We gonna build some more shelters. Do you see them around? You know what? These black men are getting stumped. These cameras inside of the car and cameras on the body are required across every state in America. My bad, y'all. Cameras are required in all 56 states. How about they say that? You feel me? Your president could do that. But nah, we're going to leave that to the states. That's a states issue. Remember Barack Obama? Oh, that's the states. Any boy can raise a baby. Oh, that's Trayvon Martin. He looked like my son. And all that crap. Propaganda, bruh. Propaganda, bruh. Nigga said in 6 months, y'all, they turned a pacifist population into a hysterical, warmongering population. Hysterical. Wow. Wow. But they trying to stop misinformation. And they the leading spreaders of misinformation. Wow. I know though, but because some people still believe them, y'all. We still believe in these people. Let's continue.
The Germans limb from limb, go to war and save the world. Britain also made extensive use of propaganda during World War I, and Hitler, who once famously stated, "Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda, all that matters is propaganda," was intrigued by the...
Did you hear that? You see what Hitler said, y'all? Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. All that matters is propaganda. Do you understand why that's all I talk about now? Do you get it? Propaganda is everywhere, even down to your kids' shows, PBS. It don't matter what you're watching. Propaganda is there too. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, people. Why you think all these people getting a shot from an untrusted government? You trust America? Even when they trying to do right, is always something wrong. You understand? You trust them with your body? With your body? It take these people decades just to pass a law. It take them 20 years just to get a person to a court. You understand? This the people you trust? America? Get out of here, y'all. Let's continue. Matter of fact, let's skim through on this here part to the 9:25 mark. So we can start wrapping this up.
Elul proposed that modern propaganda has given democratic governments the power to desecrate the democratic process by increasingly deciding on policies independent of the voting population. After policies have been created by those in positions of power, propaganda is then used to shape public opinion and manipulate the voting population into desiring exactly what the government has already decided to do.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They make a decision on what they're going to do. Then they use the news media to convince you that it was your idea. Did you hear that? That's a good paraphrase of what he just said. They decide that the Star of David is required to enter a business. Then they're going to convince you that it's required. Then it's going to be American. It's going to be everywhere. You did? Nationwide, my bad. Then it's going to be nationwide. What he told y'all, oh, I saw the big three clubs do it. And then I was like, I might as well do it too. Well, a city going to see New Orleans do it. Then a state going to require it. And then all 56 states going to require it. That you show the Star of David in order to enter the establishment, which is discrimination and against the law, according to HIPAA, because that is a medical record. I have to show you something in order to get into a nightclub. Are you serious? Are you serious? Let's continue. Let's continue before we wrap it up, y'all. You are witnessing the Rebel Network. Thanks for pressing like and sharing and all that. You feel me?
The point is to make the masses demand of the government what the government has already decided to do. If it follows this procedure, the government can no longer be called authoritarian, because the will of the people demands what is being done.
Did you hear that? If they convince you that it was your idea, it's the will of the people. You think this dude just talking? Do it make a difference if you sitting inside of a lecture room or a college or Harvard somewhere, or if you're watching it on YouTube? So if a professor is giving a lecture and there are there are college students inside of the room, does the person viewing it from his computer through Zoom or what have you, does it make him less likely to consume the information, people? Does that make the information different? If you was in the class, you would have understood. Well, yeah, I was watching it on the camera. You feel me? Yeah, that's what it is, Sean, bro. Yeah, that's what it is, man. But you see how they operate, y'all? You see how they operate, and it's sad. That's why you don't hear me. I can't yell about it, bro, because people really tend to believe this type of stuff, man. All I got to do is make sure that I make more and more videos exposing whatever I see. You feel me? Let's listen a little more before we wrap them up.
As Elul warned, when a democratic government uses propaganda to convince the masses to want what it has already decided to do, in reality, a democracy no longer exists.
Did you hear that? When they convince you to do what they already planned, it's not a democracy, y'all. You living in a totalitarian system, y'all. Let him replay that.
done. As Elul warned, when a democratic government uses propaganda to convince the masses to want what it has already decided to do, in reality, a democracy no longer exists.
Yep. Did you hear that? In reality, a democracy no longer exists. Sound like something I've been telling you for a long time. The left arm, the Democrats, the right arm, the Republican, they all form one boxer. The left wing and the right wing have to connect to one bird called supremacy. And they all fly together, y'all. You feel me? Do you understand that, bro? Now let's look at their little newscast one more time just to kill it. And you can apply what you just now saw to this newscast.
Music clubs will require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test to get in. And now some other businesses are following suit too. Danny Monteverdi spoke to some of them and joins us live with more on that. Danny.
Well, Karen, the doors here at Effervescence on North Rampart Street have been open for about an hour now, and there's a new rule tonight. You must be vaccinated to be inside. They and some other businesses are enacting this rule tonight. At La Boca Steakhouse in the Warehouse District, there's a new rule come Tuesday. All guests must show proof of a COVID vaccine or a negative test to get in.
Did you hear that? You got to show the Star of David to get in, which is illegal through HIPAA, y'all. That's your private medical records. And that's discrimination too. And they only providing us with one viewpoint.
It's the same deal across town
Wow.
at Cowbell on Oak Street and Effervescence on the edge of the French Quarter. It's all because of the growing number of COVID cases.
And we thought, okay, it's accelerating. Let's do this thing where if you want to sit inside, great. Just show us your vax card, a picture of it. You know, you can come inside and take your mask off when you get inside. Otherwise, we have outside seating.
Cowbell's owner.
Otherwise, you got to sit in what he just now said was 130-degree weather in New Orleans, being discriminated against and treated like a second-class citizen.
Brack May says the idea came after Tipitina's, the Maple Leaf, and DBA said earlier this week that anyone who wants to see a show must be vaccinated or negative for the virus and have the proof.
This is just our policy. It's not a political thing.
It's not a political thing, then why you brought it up? Sound like a political thing to me. Since when would someone assume that a disease or an epidemic is political? Why did he go out his way to say that? Because it's political, y'all. Like I told y'all, the Democrats clearly own the Star of David. They the ones who pushing it, showing you a debt toll, scaring your grandma to death every night, scaring your kids, keeping them away from their friends, stopping them from receiving their education in a traditional way, experimenting on people. Basically, this is a social experiment. But let's continue, y'all.
Preventative thing. We see it as a courtesy.
He says policing customers and having staff wear masks is something he'd be happy to.
Policing customers, because he the police now. He the police now, just like what the name, Match.com, who told you to max that thing up. Policing you, teaming up with America to convince you to take the Star of David.
To do away with if it was safe.
Believe me, it's 130 degrees or so in the kitchen when it really gets cranking. It's not fun.
Crystal Coco Hines, who owns Effervescence on North Rampart, says people who haven't been vaccinated can sit outside on the patio, but only those who've had the shot can sit inside. It's a decision she says she didn't make lightly.
That's a shame, y'all. Be treated like a second-class citizen. You could sit outside in the hot 100+ degree weather. Wow.
It was weighing very heavily on me all week, and I couldn't really sleep well, and finally I decided to follow my gut.
She said it was weighing on her very heavily, y'all. Why? All week? Sound like somebody who had a deadline to me, y'all. All week? Don't you own this business? You can make a decision whenever you want. This is not a nationwide requirement. What, did you have a week to think of this? Wow. Come on, they really be exposing themselves. The stuff be blatant to me, bro. You had a deadline. You couldn't sleep at night and all of that. Get out of here.
Heavily on me all week, and I couldn't really sleep well, and finally I decided to follow my gut.
She's kept in place all existing health policies, such as social distancing, a mask mandate, and hand sanitizer. She says the new rule was just the latest way to try to keep customers and her small staff of 7 and their families safe. As for the response,
There's a few people who, and I don't recognize them. I don't know if they're a guest or not, but that have commented on Instagram, negatively.
She don't know if they guessed or not, but they commented negatively. It don't matter if they guessed. Well, oh, y'all still in here? They totally clicked me off talking about something went wrong. I know what went wrong. That's everything that went right. Them people clicked me completely off. I'm surprised I'm still being able to be seen. The other page don't even want to load up.
Three of the city's
Yeah.
most well-known.
Yeah, I'll go with that crap. Let me see if they let me share it. Wow, somebody must be hurt. They kicked me all the way off. That has never happened. That ain't never happened to me before. But let's just try to go back to the comments and wrap it on up. You see what I mean? Maybe that's a coincidence to y'all or something. It ain't them watching. Look what I said. Boycott the businesses that do this crap. Propaganda at its best. This woman said the CDC reported today that Cape Cod outbreak this week was 75% full, whatever. You could test negative and still be positive. You heard him? You can test negative and still be positive. And you can also receive the Star of David and still catch it and spread it. See? Like, bruh, come on, y'all. Just please, bruh, do your research before you do something to your body. Please do your research. Look, this woman said all of them HIPAA laws, don't that protect that? Look, HIPAA laws. See? Wow. Because that's your private medical records, y'all. That's private. I know, though. Please don't be one of them people who just think people out here talking to be talking and conspiracy theories, but you never do the research to see for yourself, y'all. Please don't be like that. Don't keep being like every generation they frightened, like 9/11, to give up your freedoms, Patriot Acts, and everything. Once again, y'all holler at me before they kick me off again. Damn.